The incredible, emotion-evoking alchemy of souls has finally come to an end. This larger-than-life tale was a source of joy and debate for fans as we all waited weekly for a new episode. Although part 2 of this global hit drama ended on a happy note for our favorite couples, it still left a bittersweet aftertaste as we will all miss these incredible actors, actresses, and the land of Daeho with its powerful mages and picturesque scenes. Although not grand, the ending of Part 2 of Alchemy of Souls is a major relief as fans were reserved after the tragic ending of the previous season. The last 2 episodes felt rushed and lacking, but we can't complain as we got the happy ending we were all rooting for. The Hong sisters sure did their thing with this series. Without further ado, in this video, I'm going to explain the concluded episode 10 of Alchemy of Souls Season 2 with most of my thoughts about it. So stick around for a recap, explanation, and review. But remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell to be among the first to see our content, thanks. The episode began with Jang Uk hugging Naksu while they both stared at the tall tree in Danhyanguk. If you recall, Jang Uk had gone to Danhyanguk at the end of the previous episode in search of Naksu, who had called him with the Enyang Jade. In this episode, we found out that Master Lee was the one who took Naksu to Danhyanguk after her grand request in front of the king and the unanimous assembly at the end of the previous episode. He did this because he felt it was time for him to play his part in their story. After eliciting a promise from Naksu to abide by his decision, he asked them to marry. He officiated their marriage while also bearing witness to it. He did this to inform the skies about their union. He said, "A wedding ceremony is how you announce your marriage to the people around you. But it is also to inform the skies. We have decided to be together. Therefore, no one can set us apart." I believe he did this to appeal to Jin Bu Yeon or, in this case, Jin Seol-ran. Or he simply hoped their marriage would be strong enough to keep them together with Naksu leaving. I've always known that the chaste Master Lee was Team Jang Uk and Naksu like most of us. But he's part of the reason I felt like the last 2 episodes were rushed. Most fans had expected the powerful, all-knowing Master Lee to at least play a significant role in saving Daeho. But he was reduced to an officiator, which is great, by the way, and a storyteller. After the emotional wedding, where they both reminisced on their journey to finding each other again, Master Lee wished them a long life together. Jang Uk finally fulfilled his promise to take Naksu to the top of the Danhyanguk tree. They made out after that. Somewhere in Jinyuan, Ho Kyung recalled what Master Lee had said to her. He told her that he believed Jin Seol-ran was looking out for Jang Uk and Naksu. She was probably behind Bu Yeon's barrier-clad room opening to Jang Uk in the first episode of the season. He also explained that Jin Seol-ran might have stayed behind to protect the ice stone because it would be used one day. Back in Danhyanguk, Jang Uk disclosed to Master Lee that the only memory left for Naksu to recall was how she felt at the last moment with him. How she felt when she killed him in the last season. If you recall, Jang Uk had always wanted to know. It was why he had asked Bu Yeon to keep the Enyang Jade to recall Naksu's memory. In present time, Naksu tells him that she would link their hands together as a signal when she finally recalls the memory. She believes that would be when she'd have to leave Bu Yeon's body. She promised to tell Jang Uk what she remembers then. Meanwhile, as Master Lee leaves to find his beddings, Jang Uk's Enyang Jade comes alive. He goes outside to meet Naksu, but instead, he meets Jin Bu Yeon, Seol-ran. As he crossed the barrier she had placed around her, he saw a vision of what was to come. He saw Daeho encased in fire caused by the firebird. Then a young Bu Yeon appeared in the vision and told him that the firebird would dry out the world. She said, "I hope that something so tragic would never happen. But the foolish greed of humans will lead the world to burn to ashes." she told him that she had foreseen the firebird consuming the world. This means that she had stuck around the ice stone because she had foreseen what would happen with the firebird in the future. This was why she possessed the body of Lady Ho Kyung's dead daughter in the womb and why she had been using Naksu and Jang Uk all this while. She had wanted to save the world from the foolishness and greediness of man, which would lead to its end. But unfortunately, she ended up contributing to the summoning of the firebird and making the world burn. If you recall, she was the one that found the ice stone in the middle of the lake with her father, Wok Tak, and Jin Mu in the previous season. This was how Jin Mu became consumed with possessing an ice stone, which inadvertently led to him trying to summon the firebird to get an ice stone as the world burns. Seol-ran tells Jang Uk that she's unable to stop what will happen, but he can, as he was born against the laws of nature under the king's star. She also said to him, "I have been hiding under the shadow that was created by your light. Now I plan to cast that shadow aside and step out into the world." I believe she summoned him to tell him all this so he would be able to work with her when she takes back her body and not resent her for it. They needed to work as a team, as what she foresaw was inevitable. Back in the palace, the evil associates deliberate on how to get the ice stone from Jang Uk and confiscate the Jinyuan's plaque. Jin Mu, impatient, convinced them to match to Jinyuan for the firebird. Before they set out, he reiterated the crown prince's betrayal by asking the king to take the crown prince's gold plaque, thereby disinheriting him as the crown prince. When they got to Jinyuan, maidservant Kim was with Ho Kyung. They commanded Ho Kyung to open the door to Jinyuan, but she refused. Jin Mu, impatient again, choked her, making Jin Cho-yeon open the door to Jinyuan. They entered Jinyuan and took out the firebird. Meanwhile, maidservant Kim had already sent a Jinyuan guard to Sungrim to seek help. When they took out the firebird, Jinyuan began to collapse. Ho Kyung also sent Cho-yeon to Sungrim to seek help. When the relics in Jinyuan began to escape, Ho Kyung asked maidservant Kim to take her inside to stop other evil relics from escaping. Meanwhile, Cho-yeon ran into Dang-gu and Park Jin on her way to Sungrim. Park Jin decided to go to Jinyuan, while Dang-gu and Cho-yeon went after the mages with the firebird. On getting to Jinyuan, Park Jin discovered to his dismay that his beloved maidservant Kim was inside with Ho Kyung. He couldn't get in to save them as the relics were escaping. Maidservant Kim asked him to seal the door to stop the relics from escaping. She told him that she understood why he had to do so. He sealed the door with Ho Kyung and maidservant Kim inside. As he mourned his loss, Jin Mu arrived to entice him with the power to save her. He took him to Cheonbugwan, where they held the firebird. There, he sees the faces of the greedy rulers of Daeho, the king and the unanimous assembly. He rejected Jin Mu's offer to save maidservant Kim with his alliance. He instead fought to contain the firebird's barrier as Jin Mu broke it to stop him. As he contained it, Jin Mu struck him with a sword in the back like the coward he was. In this scene, Park Jin proves why he was once the leader of Sungrim. He fought a good fight single-handedly. Jang Uk returned to Sungrim the following day to meet them all in tears, mourning Park Jin, maidservant Kim, and Ho Kyung with an empty casket. He tells them Seol-ran's prophecy about the firebird and that all parties were safe, not dead. Jin Bu Yeon had gone into Jinyuan from Dan Hyanguk as she was the original creator of the door. She had saved maidservant Kim and Ho Kyung and stopped Jinyuan from collapsing. Master Lee had gone in search of the firebird but found Park Jin instead. He rescued and treated him. Jin Bu Yeon was able to possess the body when Naksu's soul left. Naksu was finally able to recall her last memory with the help of the Yin-Yang Jade. They said their emotional farewell. Naksu told Jang Uk her final reply, "I love you," as her soul left the body. Taking advantage of Sun Grim in morning and having the firebird, Jin Mu and his minions decided to unleash the firebird that night and perform the lake's rite. Elsewhere, Jang Uk gives the crown prince his gold plaque, showing his uninterest in conquering the world. He said to the crown prince, "I have already climbed to the very peak of this world with the person I made that promise with." The crown prince lamented how he had stolen his king's star, and now he had to use his gold plaque. As Cheonbugwan prepares for the rain ritual, Jang Uk sets out to meet them there to unleash the firebird himself. Doing this will enable them to control the outcome of the prophecy. He planned to eliminate the firebird on Lake Gyeonggi-ondaeho, where the power of the sky met the earth and created a huge amount of energy. Meanwhile, as the evildoers are waiting for the witching hour when the energy of the firebird will be strongest, the crown prince confronts the king with Jang Wook's gold plaque dethroning him. Cho Yun removes the earthenware placed around Daeho that will ignite the firebird's energy. Bu Yeon and Seo Yo go into Cheonbugwan to the constellation room, while Dang-gu and Sang-ho fought with the guards outside. When Jin Mu got the information that Sun Grim mages had entered Cheonbugwan, he decided to start the process of setting the world on fire. However, Jang Uk arrived on time to help them. He broke the firebird's barrier to their alarm. He encased them in the fire with the firebird while they begged him to stop. When Jin Mu asked him, "Jang Uk, do you plan to kill everyone in the unanimous assembly?" He answered, "Is this not the kind of world you wanted? Take a close look at what it is like for someone with strength to gain and wield even greater power." As he was setting them on fire with the firebird's energy, Jin Mu said, "You were right, Jang Uk. In a world where those with strength gain greater power, the weak will just perish." I believe this is the moral of the story the Hong sisters wanted to convey. Jang Uk then gave the firebird's egg to Dang-gu to take to Bu Yeon, who was waiting at the constellation basin in Cheonbugwan. Bu Yeon unleashed the firebird with Jang Uk's constellation plate and sent it to Jang Uk in Lake Gyeonggi-ondaeho, where he killed it with Naksu's blade and a mystical bow empowered by Jin Bu Yeon with his king's star. After the great achievement, Bu Yeon slumped. She went into the spiritual realm to send Jang Uk's shadow to him. This was when I learned that Naksu was the shadow and Jang Uk was the light. With his king's star, Jang Uk shines bright like the star. Bu Yeon said, "A light that embraces a shadow will never be lost in the darkness." She sent Naksu's soul back to Jang Uk. 1 year later, Naksu and Jang Uk are still dealing with the aftermath of Jinyeon collapsing. They travel through the country to find the escaped relics. Dang-gu and Cho Yun gave birth to beautiful twins. The new king Go-won couldn't wait to see Jang Uk to make him the Gwonju of Cheonbugwan. Park Jin and maidservant Kim are expecting their burden of joy. Jang Uk and Naksu bickered as they used to in the previous season until they came across one of the escaped relics, a big cat. The season ends as Jang Uk draws his sword behind Naksu to kill the cat with a determined look, while the blue mark bloomed beautifully in Naksu's eyes. How do you feel about the ending? Are you satisfied with it? Let me know what you think in the comment down below. If you like our content, give it a like, share, subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be among the first to see our content. Thanks for watching, bye.